Hey folks, what's going on? It's Pastor Hassan. It's Tuesday afternoon, and here's what's happening this week. So, first up, on tomorrow, Wednesday, August 26th, we're going to have our next prayer meeting, and that's going to happen at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, be on the lookout for the invitation for that. I'll send out those Zoom invitations via email, hopefully before the day is over. So that's happening on tomorrow, Wednesday, August 26th at 2 o'clock. Also, on tomorrow, that's the day when we'll hopefully finalize the numbers for the annual meeting. And so, if it turns out that we don't have enough people planning to attend the annual meeting this coming Friday, then we will postpone the meeting and, in all likelihood, reschedule it for a Sunday afternoon. And so on tomorrow, like the board members, all of the members of the board have been given the responsibility of contacting people from the church just to try to get an idea of how many of you are planning to attend on Friday. And if it turns out that we won't have enough people to have a quorum on Friday, then we'll postpone the meeting. So we'll find that out, and as soon as that information is gathered, we'll let people know. So if not tomorrow, for sure by Thursday, August 27th, the board members will contact people and let you know one way or the other whether or not the annual meeting is supposed to happen. But for now, it's slated to happen this coming Friday, August 28th at 7 o'clock in the evening. Also happening on that same day, on August 28th at 8:30 in the morning, for sure, is the next devotional. So again, looking ahead to what we'll be looking at as we continue looking at this section in 1 Corinthians 12 to 14, Paul dealing with issues around spiritual gifts, and we're going to finish up chapter 12 and look at what seems initially like something like Paul has just sort of switched subject matters, but he's actually still very much dealing with the issue of spiritual gifts. But he dives into this whole issue of believers being many members, but one body. And so we want to talk about this whole idea of unity and diversity and what that has to, or what that means in terms of how spiritual gifts are to function in the life of the church. So be on the lookout for that on Friday morning, August 28th at 8:30. We'll have our next devotional. And then we're into Sunday morning. So this Sunday is August 30th, and at 10:45 a.m. we're gonna hopefully again try to live stream the service. We ran into some issues. I ran into some issues on last week's Sunday, and we weren't able to do that. Hopefully, we've gotten all those things ironed out, and we'll live stream the service so that hopefully everyone, even if you're not able to be with us in person, you'll be able to see the service as it's happening on Sunday morning. And then at the same time, this is the last Sunday of the month of August, and so we'll be reciting the memory verse for the month together. So whether you're doing that at home or whether you're present with us in person on Sunday, we'll be reciting together Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 12. And so I'll give you, you got a few more days to work on that as we think about the Lord's wisdom, and particularly in that text, it deals with the Lord's wisdom as displayed in the very act of creation. And so be working on that. And then if you're with us in person on Sunday, you can recite that. And if not, you're watching online, you're welcome to recite that at the same time as us. If you're able to. And then as a final option, if you want, I know in the past months that some people have recited the memory verse and posted it to the WhatsApp chat, which is kind of a fun way to encourage one another to do that. So there, you got a few options in that way. And then the next thing up on Sunday, August 30th, is our discussion group, which is going to happen at 2 o'clock, and followed by the Sunday school class studying through the book of Acts at 6:30, and both of those are going to be happening via Zoom. And there might have been a little bit of a mix-up or confusion. So the Sunday school class has for a while now been using the same link, the same passcode every single week, and I think in a lot of ways that makes it easier for people to get logged into it instead of having to send a new link every week. And so I've started doing that with the discussion group as well. And so there won't be a new link for the discussion group. You'll just use the one that we've been using for a few weeks now. If for some reason you've deleted that email, lost that information, you can reach out to me, let me know, and I can make sure you get the contact information there. So that's it in the way of what's happening. I just want to encourage you to continue to pray for the work of the church, as together we try to figure out what it looks like for us to continue to try to build a community of people who are becoming like Christ by His grace for His glory, and do that in the midst of a pandemic with all the restrictions that come from that. And I'm reminded of Paul's words when he was enchained and he was bound, and yet he said very confidently, even though he was bound, the word of God is not bound. And so even though we have certain restrictions in light of the pandemic, the gospel itself is not restricted in our lives, and in terms of us being able to make the gospel known to others around us. So I want to encourage you and encourage myself to continue just to remember that, to grow in grace, and to be faithful in the opportunities that we have to proclaim the gospel. And just one little encouraging note, hopefully I found it encouraging, and just working through some commentaries in preparation to preach the rest of 1 Corinthians 12. I came across this quote from Gordon Fee in his commentary on 1 Corinthians, and he writes this. He says, "Our desperate need is for a sovereign work of the Spirit to do among us what all our programmed unity cannot." And so it was just a helpful reminder to me that, yes, it's good for us to plan and to have structures and things in place, but it's a helpful reminder that even in our pursuit of unity, even in our pursuit of accomplishing the work of the ministry, we cannot orchestrate these things in our own power. What we need is a sovereign work of the Spirit of God to do what we cannot. And so, brothers and sisters, keep looking to the Lord, keep trusting Him, keep checking on one another and encouraging one another, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Okay, take care, and God bless. Love y'all.